What is up, everybody? Welcome back to Truth and Transparency. This is live coverage. We're going to be having a press update here from the sheriff. Just about 35 minutes. So as we are waiting, let those notifications click in.
Mom is a kind, faithful, loyal, fiercely loving woman of goodness and light. She is 84 years old. Her health, her heart is fragile. We are ready to talk. We need to know, without a doubt, that she is alive and that you have her.
The Holloway case, TJ Ward. Good morning to you both. TJ, I'll start with you. What do the facts so far indicate to you about what happened to Nancy Guthrie?
Well, some of the facts that they already know is that the cameras were destroyed that they went into, and there was blood, and the DNA they're trying to get together and find out whose blood it is or what it is. If you'll notice, they brought a helicopter in also. They were searching the area in the back of the house to see if there was any evidence whatsoever in that area that may be footprints or trees torn down or something. They know they came in possibly through the back door and they went out through the front. They need to look and see if anybody had seen any vehicles that.
All right, guys, I think that is just absolutely crazy right there, that you're going to go through the back door to come in, but you're going to go out the front door to leave. Meaning they don't care. They have no reason to believe that their vehicle would have been spotted on, on that street, let alone if it was in the middle of the night. They do have flock cameras. We did go through a lot of things last night when we got off this live. They do have flock cameras in there. They're not right on, like a couple streets away, but it would be enough that it's at 2:00 in the morning. There's not that many vehicles out, period. So if you can get a hit on a make and model and you pump it into flock the way that they can do it, then you're going to be able to get some traction there. So I think that's interesting that you come in through the back, but you're like, hey, we can just still go out the front. That tells me maybe it would have been easier to go out the front in terms of if you're carrying somebody.
Early in the morning, or from one way in, one way out, or whatever, and try to identify who may have taken her.
Right. Sheriff's Office said they are using license plate readers, asking neighbors to offer up their Ring camera video if they have it.
Now, it's interesting what one of the neighbors that lives closer, that she said to like First Ave. I don't know what she's talking about, because when we did our little easy Google mapping, First Ave is not just like right on it. But the person came forward and said, hey, there's been people in the area, like, she used the term casing the area. And we have like videos or pictures of it. And Brian Etten's like, oh, can I get that? And then he's like, go give it to the sheriff's office. And then what was crazy to hear is that the woman, literally she's on a recorded camera and microphone saying, oh, that's like so far away. It's like, what? I could not believe that somebody was like, oh, that's a far drive to go take this information to the sheriff's. I'm trying to give it to the police. Oh, we'll go down to the sheriff's office, Oh God, no.
That video.
That's bizarre. Anyway, you want to slice and dice it. That's laziness, number one. Ridiculous. Probably actually number one is ridiculous. Laziness, number two. And just so, great neighboring.
Yesterday, so sad what Savannah put up on her Instagram last night. Noah, what did you think about the urging of the captors to reach out to her to talk?
You always hear they need proof of life. And the question is, was the Instagram video at the direction of law enforcement, or is it something she did on her own?
There you go. Great. That was exactly, that's the first thing I said was, is this a script? They had all three of the siblings. We actually looked into the brother as well, because he didn't say any part. Like, it's like he wasn't saying anything.
So
People are so desperate to have that information, and I can understand not listening to law enforcement, but oftentimes they are, abiding by what the law enforcement thinks is the best thing to find out. I mean, to kidnap and capture somebody these days and ask for a ransom, not that it was ever a good idea, but with all the electronic surveillance going on in the world, it seems unlikely that the people with this ransom note are actually the people who took her.
Interesting. That's exactly what I said last night. I said, what happens here? So, hey, send it to this, give us however many millions and send it to this, Bitcoin, blah, blah, blah. Isn't that just going to get you caught? And then it's like, well, according to my whole chat was like, no, that's like, it's, you can't tell, you can't, nobody, it's untraceable, blah, blah, blah. So this gentleman had the same thought as I, well, you're sending this via email to like these outlets. There's a paper trail of that, right? Well, I say there's not, the reason I say that is because the damnedest things happen in our like community schools. Like a kid is sending around a naked picture of a girl and they're like 13, right? And yet we can't find who really sent it. So therefore we can't prosecute anybody. Oh, is that a fact? You know what I mean? I'm like, so a 13-year-old was able to bypass your amazing security. Give me a break. I just don't buy that. Law enforcement and government gets to pick and choose when something needs to be hush hush, in my opinion, and when something is okay. Well, we can go ahead and put this out. So to think that you could send an email out to news outlets and that's not traceable in some capacity. I mean, AI right now can like literally clone me.
Right, Noah. And TJ, these ransom notes, do they sound legit to you?
Well, I think looking at the ransom note, the FBI is now involved, which is great, and you won't hear any.
What does this guy talk about? Looking at the FBI, looking at the ransom note. You seen it, buddy? Come on, man. Looking at this, it would make you think that he saw this or these couple of ransom notes. Come on, man.
Evidence from the FBI.
We haven't seen it. I doubt you have. I like your bow tie, though.
That's just their protocol. But I think they'll take that ransom note and they'll look through it and they'll look for certain words and all that were said in the ransom note and try to utilize that and to see if they can see if the ransom note is something that's unique and part of this or who may be part of it.
Yeah, back in the day, that might have worked when you're using your own handwriting to write those, and you're touching it and you're licking the envelope and shit like that. Yeah, no. I cannot believe that he did not talk about the most important thing. I mean, he needs to retire. Why would you have somebody on there that's 80 talking about this? This wasn't a ransom note that was hand delivered. We're talking about a ransom note that was sent through the interwebs. It was emailed, motherfuckers, emailed. And this is the type of response that you get with this. I mean, you do not, this is common sense. And some of these people, I don't care how many years you're going to go to school, it is never going to change. You don't have it. You don't have street smarts. You don't have common sense. But yeah, these are the people that we're going to go ahead and ask these questions to. And maybe this is why things aren't getting solved in the world, because we're going ahead and hiring people that lack common sense. Just hire people that lack common sense and logic, because they will never question because they don't get it.
Right.
They're just like, hey, I'm really book smart, man.
This note.
We have a clip from the sheriff where he said at one of the briefings that he does not believe that there is any active threat to the public.
Well, no shit. Because he said this is not a serial kidnapping situation, okay? Nobody's going around kidnapping older women, okay, for their panties. Miss Grant.
Let's take a look at that moment.
No, I don't think there's an active threat, but I hate to say that because, we're going to canvass that neighborhood and maybe there's a prowler been seen around. There's a lot of work still to do.
A prowler just happens to hit up, but you guys, he's answering the questions that are being asked in this ridiculous community fest over here. Hey, let me raise my hand and ask something that's so stupid. No, there's no threat to the community. There's not a serial kidnapper out there. Okay. This person that was kidnapped, her daughter is worth $40 million. Okay. If my mom was kidnapped, okay, ransom letter was sent. None of this should be happening. Okay. This was a targeted abduction, kidnapping, whatever you want to call it. somebody leaving against their will.
We don't have any indication that that the public is in danger.
TJ, back to you.
Why couldn't you play the best part, though? Why can't you play the part when he said, we don't have a serial kidnapper on our case? This is not a serial kidnapper that we're looking for. That was the best part of what he had to say. And of course, court TV won't play that because that's also just like showing that that's just a ridiculous question.
You on this. What do you think about him saying that?
Well, I just think he's being conservative to the fact of the investigation.
How is he being conservative? He said that no, there is not. That's not conservative, in my opinion.
And not putting too much information.
I'm not using the words conservative, by the way. He's being conservative. No, he's basically laughing. Okay, because that man, if he would have saw the whole clip, he'd actually be able to give you a better idea about what he thought. But just so stupid. These questions are ridiculous.
Out in the public for other people that may be wanting to utilize this or utilize part of this investigation. There are people that will try to get involved with this case, and I think them saying just exactly what they need to say to let the public know, and hopefully that somebody out there will give them good information in regards to something that may have happened to her.
I cannot believe we've been doing this for 5 days, and there has not been a single leak in terms of like, hey, how many neighbors do they have up there? TMZ, nobody has sent them a Ring camera. You know, like it was like after Charlie Kirk was basically assassinated in front of all of us, right? Boom. We got streets from far around. Oh, here's some Ring camera for you. Here we got the Charger, whoop, or whatever it was. The Challenger, Charger, who gives a shit? Here, passing out stuff, right? Nobody up in that area. Like usually like your Ring camera will be able to, because it detects motion, and hopefully you're having a Ring camera to catch the purposes of people driving. Just don't have your notifications on, and you won't be like, oh my god, I gotta shut this off because I keep getting notified because squirrels are there. Then shut your notifications off. I cannot believe that people complain when they get a security system and they complain about getting notified. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Why'd you get a security camera? I mean, wild ass shit. Wild ass shit. So nobody in that area has given media any, hey, I got some Ring camera footage here. We think we got a car. Okay, did they fly up out of their helicopter? They put her in a plane? I mean,
it seems targeted, doesn't it?
Yes,
very
yes,
targeted.
yes.
Noah, let me ask you this. The photos of the blood at the house that we have seen indicate something bad happened. Somebody got injured in some kind of way.
Yeah.
Does that make you think that this was not necessarily a kidnapping?
What?
Yeah, I think the blood probably shows that maybe she just didn't wander off on her own, which
Wait, dude, what is going on? Listen to this question. You guys, this I get dumb watching this.
Some kind of way indicates something at the house that we have seen. It seems targeted, doesn't it?
Yes.
Very
does.
targeted.
Yes.
Noah, let me ask you this. The photos of the blood at the house that we have seen indicate something bad happened. Somebody got injured in some kind of way. Does that make you think that this was not necessarily a kidnapping?
Wait a second. What type of a question is that? What are you talking about? This is a kidnapping. They're gone. They're missing. What do you think it is? What do you want? Do you think this is like, I don't know, when you removing of a corpse, right? I mean, unbelievable. This is 1000% a kidnapping. What do you mean to say, Miss Grant, is do you think that she was killed? And they're like, we're not going to leave her here. Let's take her on out of here. Okay. We killed her, but we're not going to take her. We're going to take her though with us. Damn, man. What So ridiculous.
Yeah, I think the blood probably shows that maybe she just didn't wander off on her own, which a lot of people think, all right, someone's, in their 80s, maybe they just wandered off on their own, and it's giving law enforcement a clue that something nefarious happened. That question of should we be concerned is always kind of like a gotcha question.
Not the smash cameras, like, the pacemaker being disconnected. I mean, hey, we got to make sure these motherfuckers know some shit went down. We got to put some blood out here, okay? I get it that the law enforcement world is just struggling these days, but we went ahead and helped them out and put some blood out here.
I think for these law enforcement officers, because they want to make sure the public feels safe, but of course, an alleged crime happened. So the reality is they need to focus on trying to figure out what happened to her.
You guys see why nothing gets accomplished in this world? These type of questions, Remember when I said there's no such thing as a dumb question? I I retract that statement. There's no dumb question in school, but there is a dumb question when you are having an organized interview like this in this magnitude and you're getting paid lots of money to be the face of your mainstream court TV here. Wow.
Right.
But can we just write up the material for you?
I hope this wasn't a homicide. When I see that blood, that's what concerns me the most, is that we know obviously she was kidnapped, but beyond that, did something happen in the process? Was there an assault that was so bad that she's suffering right now from an injury? Is the injury something that's non-recoverable? Tell me, TJ, what do you think when you see these droplets outside her?
Well, the blood may be from a struggle. Maybe it's from the perpetrators, and they'll be able to, with DNA, to identify.
Yep, the perpetrators were aspirating over there, like coughing, and that's what it looks like to me. Not the big droplets, but there's aspiration that's like the smaller ones. That looks like it's aspirating, like you're coughing, or it came out of your nose if you were sneeze, or box, like people that box and they get punched in their nose, and
somebody, but the mere fact that she was on medication and she could only walk about 50 feet.
Gravity droplets. But how about this? Ready? They just end right there. That's the question to ask is, wow, it's just right here, and then it stops. That to me, it's almost like, were they we're not going to go actually outside this way, we're going to go outside the other way? Did they cover her head with a bag? Did they put, but it just stops. And that's the question to ask. But why would we ever do something like that?
On her own. So how did they move her? How many people were involved to put her in a vehicle or wherever they took her? Of going out there. But I really think it's a good thing now that the FBI has now gotten involved, because the tools the FBI have.
Somewhere around 11:30.
Right.
I really need to back away from this for a while, and we'll see you, unless something breaks, we'll see you Thursday morning. PIO will give you a time frame. I'm guessing somewhere around 11:30.
That's it.
Okay. That's when he's like, I got to back away from this. We're going to be here Thursday, 11:30. So that's why we're here, because this is out in Arizona, but Eastern Standard over here. We got about 15 minutes until it gets to 11. I want to know if this guy that was supposedly law enforcement, huge source for Ashley Banfield here, has royally screwed her. Okay. The reason I say that is she's like, hey, it's the brother-in-law to Savannah, Annie's husband. I don't know. I don't know if I see that.
Late yesterday, investigators swarming Nancy Guthrie's home in a renewed search for clues in the disappearance of Savannah's mom. The multi-agency team, including FBI agents, sheriff's deputies, and a Border Patrol canine unit, entering the property behind new yellow crime scene tape. It's the first time we've seen this type of activity since the 84-year-old went missing early this week. And overnight, Savannah and her siblings, Annie and Cameron, releasing that heart-wrenching video Two people briefed on the investigation said the FBI special agent in charge was seen at a Guthrie family home where it's believed the video was recorded. NBC News is also aware of multiple reports of ransom notes sent to news organizations. No law enforcement agency has substantiated them, but they are being investigated. NBC News has not seen the notes.
A white female, 84 years of age, 5C medium build.
Now, 5 days after this police dispatch call that started the search for Savannah's mom, authorities are also looking into what appears to be blood found outside the home, according to two senior officials briefed on the investigation. Those officials also say Guthrie's pacemaker appears to have disconnected from its monitoring app in the early morning hours on Sunday, the day she was reported missing. President Trump reaching out to Savannah on the phone Wednesday and later posting, "I am directing all federal law enforcement to be at the family's and local law enforcement's complete disposal immediately. We are deploying all resources to get her mother home safely." In Tucson last night, a prayer service organized by some of Savannah's longtime friends. Shelly Shamrell and Savannah bonded 30 years ago while working at Tucson's local NBC station, and she says Nancy became like a second mom to her.
She is just the most loving, kind, warm, smart person who is so revered in this community.
A family, a community, and the entire nation now praying for Nancy Guthrie's safe return. And as the search continues, investigators are still trying to figure out if they'll be able to recover any of the video footage from those overnight hours taken from Nancy Guthrie's surveillance cameras. Google, which owns Nest Cameras, tells us that they are now assisting law enforcement in that investigation. And we do hope to get more information on all of this later.
It just surprises me, man. They were able to get IgG, all of this stuff done in the Idaho 4 case, like within hours. They just were flying DNA, trash, blah, blah, blah. And boop, boop, boop. Like, pretty crazy, huh? Pretty crazy.
The Pima County Sheriff's Office is expected to give another update. Craig.
Liz Court's Force there in Arizona. Liz, thank you. We're joined now by Tom Winter, our national law enforcement correspondent, and NBC News law enforcement analyst Jim Kavanaugh. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen. Jim, I'll start with you. Savannah and her siblings, they put out this emotional video. SG saying, quote, "We are ready to talk. We are ready to listen." What would be the goal, Jim, in putting out a video like that? How could it potentially advance the investigation?
Well, this is the family reaching out, Craig, to the abductors and saying, look, first, let's talk about mom. Let's humanize mom. You know?
Okay, yep, exactly. Let's just go back, though. You guys, this is her coworkers. Do you imagine that? This is who you go to work with every single day, right?
Correspondent and NBC News law enforcement analyst Jim Kavanaugh. Good morning to both of you, gentlemen. Jim, I'll start with you. Savannah and her siblings, they put out this emotional video. SG saying, quote, "We are ready to talk. We are ready to listen." What would be the goal, Jim, in putting out a video like that? How could it potentially advance the investigation?
Well, this is the family reaching out, Craig, to the abductors and saying, look, first, let's talk about mom. Let's humanize mom. You know, she has grandchildren. They love her. Children, they love her. She's just a loving grandmother, mother. Humanize her. And the family talks about Nancy and humanizes her with the abductors because she's been just an object to the abductors, an object of their goal, which either is money or some messaging. We don't quite know yet.
So you think that the people that took her aren't necessarily the people that, like, somebody took her for other people then?
So that's very important. I think it was excellent they did that. They need to humanize Nancy. And they also say, we're ready to listen. Here, the family, we want to listen. We want to hear what you want. Do you want money? Do you want a message? What is it you want? Tell us. We want to listen. And they talk about...
Well, see, that's kind of funny to me, though. If the ransom note already said that, then, like, what do you mean tell us what you want? Like, that's a really bizarre statement to me, you know, for me to hear you say. That's ridiculous.
You know, the world of manipulated voices. In other words, they know about these ransom notes. They specifically discuss it. But there's manipulated voices. So we don't know if it's really the abductors. We don't know if it's really you. So reach out to us and let us know. And then, of course,
you see how, like, why wouldn't you explain that a little bit? Basically, I explained that yesterday. Immediately when I heard that, I was like, this means that they've heard. Whatever was supplied to them, you know, there's AI nowadays. There's all this technology. I said, oh my God, what's been sent? Is it a video of her as well? Is it her audio? Is it what? Like, this guy made absolutely no sense just explaining that. Unbelievable.
About the world of manipulated voices. In other words, they know about these ransom notes. They specifically discuss it, but there's manipulated voices, so we don't know if it's really the abductors.
I've never heard of a ransom note. Hello, that you can put voices in videos in a ransom note. Explain that. What that means is that the ransom note that TMZ just kind of came out and flimsily was like, here, this is what we were sent. No, were you sent other things? Like, who's received the videos or voice audios? Because that's what this 4 minutes really honed. And for me, that I took out of it is that, that can be faked.
I don't know if it's real.
So we want to make, if it's real, like, but this guy who's in law enforcement did an awful job explaining and all that.
So reach out to us and let us know. And then, of course, they strengthen mom. They kind of close with strengthening mom. We're all looking. We're all here. We're not going to give up. So there's a lot of messaging there from the family. It's very, very good.
Jim.
The abductors, Craig, just to close, they went to a lot of effort to break in, to assault Nancy, to take her away, to hide her out. They went to a whole lot of effort. And now they have to close their circle for their goal, and that is they have to communicate. So the best thing they can do, their best options, the abductors, is to release Nancy, leave her at the foot of a church somewhere, a store, or take the step to communicate to see if you can reach your goal.
Jim, really quickly, does
Thank you there.
family putting out that video, does that then confirm the authenticity of the ransom note or ransom notes?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
In fact, I think it what the family's saying is it's still a question. There's a lot of manipulated voices. This could be someone in Kathmandu saying send Bitcoin. We don't know who that is.
What?
In other words, the kidnappers took a lot of.
What are we missing here, you guys? You guys, am I missing something here? A ransom note, a ransom letter. When does a ransom note or a ransom letter? Is this like a card that they sent in the mail that opens up and it says, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. What are you talking about here? There is no such thing as a email that you receive and you print out on a piece of paper, here you go, boop, and then it has voices and then it has video on it. Like, what are you people talking about? Explain what the fuck you mean. That means that this ransom note has to be more like a ransom folder. Okay, with audio files, video files. Jesus. Like, anybody watching this, though, they're going to be like, what are you talking about? Break it down. They're over here saying that they don't believe in, like, we have to make sure this is real. Well, what's real? She's talking about voices. She's talking about images. Come on, man.
Risk to do this, they're going to have to take an additional step to communicate if they want to reach their goal. I would expect that if they've seen this, I'm sure it's been everywhere, and they may drop a letter, a snail mail package with something. And once they can make the connection and there's some proof that they are the abductors, a piece of jewelry from Nancy, some hair, a picture, a video, then the communication can happen where they try to reach their goals, whatever that is. We don't even know, but that's what's going to happen. That's what should happen, or we want to happen, either the communication or release her.
Yeah.
If your crime has not worked, release her. I think, just to close, I think they got too big too fast. They took Nancy, whether they knew it was Savannah's mom or not, but they just thought it was a wealthy person, or they knew it was Savannah's mom. This thing got real big real fast. And so,
oh my God, this guy, dude, what is he smoking? No wonder shit's not getting solved. What are you talking about? They didn't know that it was Savannah's mom. Get the fuck out of here. They're asking for Bitcoin millions of dollars to some fucking poor ass motherfucker. Get these people, man. I'm sorry, but today I just can't take it. This is ridiculous. This is the type of shit that's getting pumped out. This is who they put on the Today Show. I'm so sorry, Savannah. Like, this is bullshit.
concern now is the communication. You know, we're concerned about, we're apprehensive about doing it. And that's their decision right now. They got to either do it or release Nancy. That's their two best options.
All right, Tom, let me bring you in here. Authorities are holding this press conference a little later this afternoon. What are we expecting to hear? And also, what are investigators focusing on right now?
Yeah, I would like to get two key things here today. The first is any new fact from the investigation that doesn't compromise it, whether it's a detail of what happened that night or, hey, we've had people calling in about this. We would like to know more.
They didn't hit on any of the main shit. Maybe they're over here like, hey, I just got to put out some bullshit because I really can't hit on the main points. The main point is that she did it from her Instagram and that it was contact us, not the FBI, not the police, not the sheriff's, us. Here's my contact. Where is anybody going to talk about that? I mean, this is ridiculous. Okay. And then down there over here flashing 1-800 FBI number. No, put out Savannah's, I don't know, Instagram.
About
that's
that,
why Savannah
whatever
put
that
out
is.
there. Look at that tip line, 1-800 call FBI. That's not what Savannah put out there, though, is it? No, it's not.
Looking for perhaps an image, even if it's the most grainy image of a car that was leaving there. You look at a map, we have a map of generally of Nancy Mom's house in that neighborhood. There are intersections all over this area. We've got a highway there in green. We've got even a larger map where we show you the interstates in the broader area of.
We looked at all of this. See the Catalina Foothills Estates over here? That's where they're at. The Catalina Foothills Estates. They're up over here to the right. Okay. You're not getting to any Waka Flocka Flockas for a little bit. Okay. But that, hey, if they're going to plan all this stuff out, dude, they're thinking about it. You got to see where they could have made their mistake, though. I'm telling you, they would have. I think that there's a chance that they would have hung out here in the area, okay, and then would have been like rolling out like a day or two later, okay, like because that way you're not after somebody's abducted. Okay, hey, start hitting the cameras right away. That's what they're gonna do, and they're gonna be on the cameras and right away. But if you wait a day or two, I would be checking the Airbnbs. I'd be checking rental property up in that area where somebody had just gotten into a new lease. I would be checking for Airbnbs and checking people that would have just checked in and people that would be checking out a couple days after the abduction. With these new cameras, you have to think outside the box if you want to beat these cameras. So how I would have pulled this off, that's, I'd be thinking that these cameras, if, anything's been alerting, they're going to know what time this abduction happened, and we cannot be seen on a camera anytime around that 2:00 hour. So there's a nice tip for you. Okay. How about that? Fucking
the Tucson, you're looking there at a key interstate that goes through there. All those major intersections, there are automated license plate readers. People hear license plate readers say, well, they're looking for a license plate. They need a specific detail. No, if somebody could call in and say, I saw that green Honda, that black Chevy Tahoe, whatever it is, they can feed that into the system. That might be very helpful as far as finding this person. The other thing that I think would be good to pick up on what Jim was saying is if there was an easy way, Savannah is talking to you now, whoever did this, she's talking with you. It would be great if they could make it easy to find a way to get that person to talk to Savannah as well. You've got an opportunity for those two to talk, for there to be a proof of life, to get.
Yep. Okay. Keep flash that up. Yeah, number. Right here. I'm afraid she accidentally was killed in the house, and then they took her body somewhere else. The only reason I'm not with that yet is because of the ransom letter. So why you would do that after the fact? I mean, you're just gonna take a chance of getting caught. Sending that email and sending it to different outlets. So the only reason I don't agree with this is because of sending the ransom. If you already killed her, I mean, what, you're gonna still try to get a ransom, but then also get caught? Yeah, no. It's all about what the purpose of this was for. What was the purpose of this? Was the purpose to kill the woman? Was the purpose to not have Savannah go to Italy? What was the motive for this? And that comes to victimology. So only them, if they want to, and the only way you can get to the bottom of victimology is you need people to be extremely honest with you. Because that's the only reason that you can find out, okay, once you know why she was taken, then you can start narrowing out people like, okay, an agenda. But it all's going to come down to like, what was, I think that if she was, okay, we're just going to kill the mom, like, that would be like a thing that it's almost like letting somebody know that, hey, we can get to the people you love. So, hey, we're just take out your mom. So you better stop doing what it is that you're doing. But whatever these people were into has to come out. And people talk about insurance money. I mean, just ask your sister for a loan. Okay. I'm going to go kidnap my own mother so that I can, come on, man. Like, no.
To a point here where there is a dialogue. If there's a dialogue, there's
Unfortunately, right now, to me, this seems you have to put it up there. And I'm not a political person. Everybody knows that. But you got to put a political agenda up in the top 3. And if you aren't, then you're being fucking naive. And that's fine too. You can be naive. So
hope for Nancy.
And you guys know me. I don't talk about anything to do with that shit on my channel. But this abduction, kidnapping of an 84-year-old woman, yeah.
Thank you.
And whose mom is it? Yeah.
Thank you, Tom. Thank you, Jim. And of course, we will bring you the very latest updates. NBC.
But if these people don't, I mean, but you just can't go out of control with it, you know? I thought it was really sad when I heard that she was about to leave to go to Italy. You know, she just had the surgery for her voice. Okay. She was all getting excited and she's going to go to Milan here and cover the Olympics for Savannah. And then here this happens and now she's out. She's not going to the Olympics. She's not going to be hosting it. I don't even think that Savannah's ever going to come back to television after this. I'm not blaming anybody. People do things. You guys know about trolling. Everybody trolls in life. Okay. On the smallest of stages and on the biggest of stages. Okay. And everybody likes to try to troll. And they now are trolling with criminal activity. Okay. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous what people are doing. Don't fall for it. So I just personally think that she's not coming back from this. I don't think she's coming back. I was telling Bella last night, I said, you know what? I will be shocked. I know that she's really resilient, but I will be shocked if she comes back from this and is on today's show again. And that'll break my heart. So let's see here. We are patiently waiting. Yuri says, thank you, Lane. I have no words for the situation. I fear it's too late. Yeah, this is just something that we haven't seen. Like, I feel like we're watching the movie Mel Gibson's Ransom. You know, when did that come out? Didn't that come out in 1995? I feel like we're watching literally a 30-year like rerun. It's very bizarre. And so there's just people that would take an 84-year-old period, I don't care whose mother it is, care whose father it would be, like, you're a demented fuck. All right. Like, how do you do that? Oh, Lana, but they're such a horrible person. You don't know all the things that they've done. So let's just go be just like them then, huh? Yeah, no. You want to expose people, expose them with the truth. Don't be doing this shit. All right, let's see what's going on here. We're going to get to the this should be a live hearing, or not hearing, but a live press conference. Let's see what we got. I think I'm going to start it up. I think I want to go with my we'll go with Court TV. Hopefully they have good sound. I figure since I just rated their program, I can give them a little props here. Thanks for having a camera in there. Core TV is now making you a member. If you're not a member, you cannot chat in their live streams now. We make you pay to troll. Tell me it's not about money without saying it's about money. If you want a live chat, you gotta be a member. They're just crazy. This is crazy to me. Freedom of speech, not so much. Yuri's. You know, that's just ironic to me. Freedom of speech. Nope, you got to pay for it here. Pay to be a member, and you can speak. It's just so funny
check 1, 2, 3.
When you're trying to when you're saying you're fighting for our First Amendment rights, and you're gonna go ask, hey, come on, cover my case, man. It's First Amendment, man. Well, I think that they don't give a shit. They're making people become members of their channel in order to speak, in live chats. So there's that. Oh, shit.
Wait, hold on. Which one is it?
Savannah's husband was a political, yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. We're well aware of that as well here. Mm-hmm. Modern day. I mean, just to take an 84-year-old woman, though. I'm curious to see what new developments are gonna announce. Yes. Only thing I ever ask you to do is be a subscriber. It's free. It's free to hit the subscribe button, and then it just allows you to chat it up for free. Make sure you do me so. Hit the thumbs up or the thumbs down. I think we reached over 70,000 subscribers here. I don't know if it was last night. I think it was last night. A lot of hard work. And it's also crazy. You see this presser? I bet you don't have to have a media badge to get in there. Do they have any independent journalists in there? Absolutely. That's why we just don't talk it here. Thanks, Mary. Appreciate that. I'm hoping that if they've already looked into the brother-in-law and all that stuff, come out and say that, that's just not the case. Some hard-earned miles, baby. Yes, we got 713 people in here. Let's see if we can match it. Smack the thumbs up. Or the thumbs down, If you like to watch shit you don't like, fuck yeah, hit the thumbs down. Make yourself known. I agree. Clear up that misinformation.
Good. I don't want to say you'll hold me to it. be on the record. I mean, if it's off the record, totally off. Okay. Everything's off the record?
Thank you, backseat juror. Sleuther 75 gifted 10 people. 10 people turned green. Did you miss it? Nope, we're just getting started over here. They have not started the they have not started yet. If events are political, how do you avoid that aspect? If it's part of the victimology, it's part of the victimology. But you also have to take into consideration now that if I wanted to come at you and didn't want you to know how I was coming at you, right? I'm going to do things. Go watch everything that's going on with the Turtle Boy his whole life. All they do is troll people, pretend to be people's friends, then make it seem like this person did something to you when it really was this other person, okay, that was getting you to think that. If that shit happens on such a small scale, you guys, it's the same thing that's happening in anything, okay? It's just, that's what it is. And so I think that you can separate it, okay? Because I think at the end of the day, if you really are going to say, because you are a Democrat or you're a Republican, that somebody committed murder or kidnapping because of their, if you're going to have the balls in the stupid, like your ignorance can allow you to say that, no, you're just morally fucking corrupt because you couldn't think for your fucking self. And people that want to push the agendas of, if you're in this party, this is what you're doing, in this part, man, fuck all that. They're basically telling you that you're a fucking follower and you're a sheep. We're not that here. We're independent thinkers. We don't need to be, I could go against, it'd be, if an island only 2 people are standing in Atlanta and there's an island of 2,000 people, which island are you going to stand on? Well, whichever the island is that what I believe, what's the case by case basis? I have no problem standing alone. People in this world have a lot of problems with that. They'd rather, okay, I'll go against what I truly believe in because I don't want to stand alone. Well, wish you had better parents. When people make you pick a side, run. Nobody should ever make you have to pick anything. You can think in what you want to believe in, case by case basis. But if I was trying to get you to think my way, then of course I'm gonna tell you everything that's negative or lie to you about everything and make it so fucking crazy. Like, oh my God, you're inciting hate, and they're doing it with like not factual shit to enrage you. That's some fucked up shit, man. Don't buy it.
Each person who checked in the order that you guys checked in, you're going to get one question, one follow-up question. That is it. If things start getting out of hand, we're going to wrap it up, okay? The sheriff is not doing any one-on-one interviews today other than what he has already scheduled, okay?
Oh my God, listen to that. This is how we run things around here, okay? You're going to ask a question and you're going to get one follow-up, and then we're moving it. If you can't behave, okay, like some fucking adults, then this is ending.
Any one-on-one interviews today other than what I'll be over here by this flag, let me know. And other than that, does anyone have any questions specifically to the press conference? Go ahead.
We can ask questions to also Keith as well.
Yes, just direct your question to who you want it to, okay? Anyone else? All right, I appreciate your guys' patience.
Anyone else not know how to follow those simple instructions?
Sorry.
Thank you.
So where'd they bring in that media person from? They had to bring in, I'm telling you, they brought in, you think that this county is like ready for, hey, you need to send us a liaison. We need some, yeah. Give us some liaison coming in here.
Anybody need a white balance? Anybody? No?
Okay.
White balance real quick.
Light balance, get it going.
Who said aye?
Aye. You know what they told me? They told me to get the fuck out of get the fuck out of the police department when I went. I was like, I'm here. I'm here for the press conference that you all said that we could come to. Oh no, you're not included in that. I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm a local journalist. I mean, I'm not included in that. Nope, you have to be affiliated. I said, affiliated with who? I pay taxes in this fucking town, motherfucker. Get out of here. Come suck my titties. Watch me. You may embarrass us. We can't have that. I got fired up. Let's get rowdy. Hey, Sherry, where you been, girl? Where you been, girl?
One more thing. We're gonna have a couple of things on the screen. Don't freak out about getting shots of that. We'll send that to you guys, okay? So you guys can have them looking nice. Okay?
Yes.
Yep.
But
If
I think
anyone
that they
is
were
not on the
reprimanded
email
for it.
list, please email me. It's gonna be pcsdpio@sheriff.fema.gov.
There you go.
Okay?
Write that down. Rewind that, Sherry. That's what we need. We need that email. We'll get put on the notification list. You guys, in this world that's journalism / whatever they want to call themselves, the squeaky wheel gets the grease. Okay? You better be, you know. So I was like, Bella, hey, go snooze them for me. Because I'm in there, I'm just like, I'm just here to do business, man. I don't need you to tell me I'm good. I don't need to tell you, hey, Bella, go snooze them for me. Call them up. They'll hear your voice. They're like, oh, she's so nice. She's so nice.
Is that better? Will that be better if you guys can see that? And I'll stay back.
Yes. I was in C-Bus. Yeah, they realized they were wrong. Oh, here's the sheriff. All right, let's do this.
Trying not to cover any of these microphones up. Good morning. I hope you've been kind of informed of the rules. That I'm going to try to get as many, if not all of you, an opportunity to ask a question. But last time we tried this, it was just kind of chaotic, people yelling. So I'd ask that you just kind of be patient with me, pay attention to the questions asked, because sometimes you guys want to ask the same question twice and you get the same answer. So help yourself, get what you can out of this. I'm going to give you one question and a follow-up, okay? But before we get there, I do have some comments. First of all, I want to begin by offering our condolences to our partners at the state Department of Public Safety's tragically lost 2 members last night in a helicopter crash up in northern Arizona. So keep them in your prayers. Colonel Gulliver and his team, I'm sure, would have greatly appreciated it.
It's horrible.
Along the same lines, I think you all saw last night, I'm trying to speak up, not yell, because apparently I talk soft. We saw last night the family, they just hurt, understandably so. And so I really want you to know this entire team here, those behind me, and our community are hurting with you. We really just want Mom back, okay? Right now, we believe Nancy is still out there. We want her home. Our department, the Sheriff's Department, along with all of our partners at the FBI, have been working around the clock. And we just want her home and get and find a way to get to the bottom of all of this, just as you do. But I have other partners out there who have stepped up, and you've probably noticed them in the last few days, if not the last few hours, and you're going to see more of that. I made a decision to contact our PCRIT team, and those of you not local, that's our Pima Regional Critical Incident Team. It's made up of law enforcement officers from this entire valley. Pasquayaki Police Department, Tucson Police Department, Marana Police Department, Oro Valley Police Department, Pima College Police Department, this is Tucson International Police Department, Sarita Police Department. There's so many of them, and they are going to help us tremendously. And that's really done because we have so much in front of us still, and we're hoping that, you know, I know the FBI has committed a very large number of men and women to partner with us, work side by side with us. We go do an interview, they're going to be there with us. We're going to go look at some evidence or process evidence, they're going to be right there with us. We're sharing every piece of information, all the data we can to get this thing solved. And it's important that my partners in law enforcement know and understand their roles, because it is very large, complex investigation with a lot of moving parts. And we're at that phase now where sometimes we're waiting, right? We're waiting for analysis, we're waiting for lab reports. But even then, when they come back quickly, for example, some DNA, we rushed what we thought was the best target for DNA. We did a rush through and got some of that back. The results were minimal. I think you all know the blood on the porch. That was one we did. It came back to Nancy. That's what we know. But there's still more items that have been submitted. We just haven't got them back yet. But in the meantime, we're not just sitting on our haunches waiting. We do have a number of leads coming in, and that's why we brought in the FBI for one, but PCRIT as well, to be able to get out there and handle these leads as they come in as quickly and as expeditiously as we can. And every single lead is looked at, every one of them. And so we're gearing up. You probably have some questions about what you've seen in the last couple of days. I'll gladly answer those at that time. But it really is about getting our partners out there. To be fair, when we went to that scene the first night, Saturday night, it was just us. Since then, the FBI and others have asked, can we go and see it as well? And that's what you've been seeing. But it is a very important case to not just me and my team, but this entire community, all of our law enforcement partners. Suspects. I know there's been a lot out there about suspects, and I want to be very clear. At this time, we have not identified a suspect or a person of interest in this case. We are working our best to do that. But to be clear, we have nobody of interest or any suspects that you would consider a prime suspect. We're just not there. We're not there yet. The timeline, I think we've got it on the board, do we not? This is a timeline that we have been able to develop with some of the things that we've had processed. Various pieces of electronics that we've gathered. And you look at some of this, and I know you're going to say, well, why did it take you so long to get this to us, Sheriff? Well, because one thing, it's got to go out and be processed at different lab sites. And sometimes that stuff comes back to us. And like you, we have questions. And we say, wait a minute, what is this about? What about this? Could it be that? And so it's sent back or it's sent somewhere else. So, and that's happening with all of the things we see, that process, that review, and that questioning of, all right, what is it we're looking at? So I'll go over it with you. You can see it on the board there, but at 5:32 p.m., these are approximate times. 5:32 p.m., Nancy travels to her local family's home for dinner and playing games with the family, just visiting. At 9:48 p.m., which is very consistent to what we were told by the family, that Nancy was dropped off at home. And we know that because we have a garage door open at approximately, I can't stress that enough, at approximately 9:48 p.m. At 9:50 p.m., that garage door closes, which is that time we assume that Nancy's home and probably going to bed. Sunday morning, early morning at 1:47 a.m., the doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12 a.m., software detects a person on a camera, but there's no video available. They had no subscription, and therefore it would rewrite itself. It just kind of loops, right, and covers up. That's what our analysis teams have told us. We're not done with that. We'll do all we can, but that's what it says. So that detects a person on camera. Could that be an animal? I imagine that's possible. We don't know that. We just have no video, but we're not giving up on that. 2:28, Nancy's pacemaker app shows that it was a disconnect from the phone. And at 11:56 a.m., the family checks on Nancy and discovers her missing. And at 12:03 p.m., 911 is called in to the Pima County Sheriff's Department. I believe it's about approximately 10 minutes later, 12 minutes later, our patrol teams arrive. They see the scene, and we start our response with our search and rescue teams and our detectives from homicide and various units. In fact, every unit here, I think somebody questioned, how come there's an ICAC member out here or this member? Everybody in our criminal investigations team is a part of this team and part of this investigative effort. I think with that, let me make sure.
It's a long time to respond, 10 minutes.
Now, I want to clarify some things that I may have already done, but yeah, I've gone over with the blood at the front door, the doorbell camera. It was removed, we know that, but we're not confirming that any cameras were smashed or destroyed around the house. I don't know where that came from, but that's something we're not confirming. The car, the car that was at the home, it's just standard investigative practices. It's part of the search warrant scene, court orders. We pull it out of there and do our scene processing with the vehicle. Uber, we did speak to a driver because Nancy, we learned, had been taken the Uber to the family residence, the daughter, for dinner. And we located that driver and spoke with them and got that information. The house, you guys got this, I think, conducting follow-up. I think you said somebody had mentioned that they saw a team out there again last night or yesterday, and that's just, again, what I was talking about before. Our partners wanted a chance to see it and examine things themselves, and more importantly, it's just we're constantly following up on things and go, hey, what about this? So we want to go back and check on some things. Here's the other thing. Someone had mentioned there was forced entry. I have no clue where that comes from. We have been very consistent. We are not discussing that at all, whether it's forced entry or not forced entry. That is something we're just not discussing. So I don't know where anybody got that information.
Banfield, you fucking idiot.
I think I am about done with my piece of this. I'm going to bring up here Heath Yankee, and I think you know him if you haven't been here. John Edwards is the assistant agent in charge with the FBI here at the Tucson office. Heath Yankee is the special agent in charge for the state of Arizona out of Phoenix, and he will come up and speak.
Thank you, Sheriff. Hello, I'm Heath Yankee, the special agent in charge of the FBI's Phoenix division. First, I want to let the Guthrie family know that our hearts are heavy for them. After seeing your message last night, it is clear that you and your family are in pain. Please know that we are doing everything to bring your mother home. The FBI is now working this case jointly with the Pima County Sheriff's Department, and we're going to start today by announcing a $50,000 reward for information leading to the recovery of Nancy Guthrie and or the arrest and conviction of anyone involved in her disappearance, and this will be the missing persons with the reward that will be going out. The FBI has agents, analysts, and professional staff employees working day and night with our partners at the Sheriff's Department. We have deployed additional intelligence and agents from our Phoenix office. We have brought in our critical incident response group from Quantico, Virginia. Members from our cellular analysis survey team are here, and they continue to collect and process digital information. We are actively reviewing and analyzing information from all digital sources, which includes banks, social media companies, phone companies, and any other organizations where a digital footprint could have been captured. All this information provides data points and helps put the picture together. And we will be in the community continuing to conduct a thorough investigation with our partners. You heard about us out there last night. We will be back out there today. I would ask the media, give our investigators the space to do their jobs while they're out there.
Yep.
Next, regarding the ransom letter. We are aware of a ransom letter that was sent to the local media and then to national outlets. As with every lead, we are taking it seriously. We are in communication with the family. And while we advise and recommend from a law enforcement perspective, any action taken on any ransom is ultimately decided by the family. Thank you to those in the community that have called in tips. For anyone out there that may have information, no matter how small you think it may be, please report it. You can do so by calling 1-800-CALL-FBI or online at tips.fbi.gov. My next message is to those imposters who are trying to take advantage and profit from this situation.
Yes.
We will investigate and ensure you are held accountable for your actions. We have made one arrest related to an imposter ransom demand.
Yes.
And a complaint will be presented to a magistrate judge later today.
That's what I said.
We'll get more on that from the FBI and our U.S. Attorney's Office here in Arizona when it becomes available. To anyone that may be involved,
fuck them.
Do the right thing. This is an 84-year-old grandma. This is an 84-year-old grandma that needs vital medication for her well-being. You still have the time to do the right thing before this becomes a much worse scenario for you. Please return Nancy home. Thank you.
You can call them up.
Okay, so the first person we're going to start with the list is going to be NBC National, Liz Prince. Right here.
Can you walk us through that timeline from when you believe, if you look at this here, from 147 to 228, what you think happened there and what particular software would have detected somebody on camera?
Good question.
I don't. I know we know the software that was there. But I'm not. I'm sorry. I'm just not in the weeds. I know that think of your doorbell cameras. Somebody walks up. My wife's. If I walk up, she gets an alert, and it's usually something like that. A person's detected.
So to understand them above, one, does that mean that it was about a 45-minute span that the suspect or suspects would have been on the property? And then also, does this essentially mean that you cooperated with the tech companies and you can officially say that no surveillance video is available from the home?
We know that the tech company that we sent that camera off to, yes, they've said they've run out of ways to recover any video.
Next person's going to be ABC News, Aaron Katrinsky.
Look at that bitch. She came and filed the fucking rules.
I'm sorry. Was what 45 minutes?
Can we say it's about a 45-minute span that somebody would have been on the property then from 147 to 228?
Yeah, I think those times speak for themselves, and it is about like I say, those are approximates. So
kick her out.
I'm sorry. Who was next? Did you say?
Hi, Sheriff. Thanks very much. Is there information that you are purposefully withholding because of the active investigation that might be leading you in a particular direction?
You know, this is no different than any criminal investigation that we conduct here. Law enforcement has conducted investigations since 1865 here in Pima County. We're always mindful of what it is that's in front of us and what we should release and can release. There's legal guidelines that guide us, but there's also strategy too. So, I'll leave that for you to determine.
Now that you are having such an injection of manpower from the FEMA critical incident team and the FBI, we can slow to bring that in at the outset. Should all of these resources be brought to bear sooner?
I guess that it's Monday morning quarterbacking. I do it all the time, so you have the opportunity to do it for me. I'll take that hit.
CBS News, Jonathan Vigliotti.
Sheriff over here, has there been any proof of life, and has there been any sign of life?
I'm going to anything to deal with the ransom notes and that I would defer to the FBI, but no, to my knowledge, we're still looking for Nancy.
And for my follow-up question, if I can speak with the special agent, what was it about this apparent ransom note that now 3 days on, you first haven't been able to validate, and second, it warranted informing the Guthries of its existence?
So the ransom note that was sent out there, obviously every lead in this case, we are taking extremely serious.
But not
Given
everyone is presented to the family. Why this one?
because this was the ransom that came in and it had facts associated with a deadline, with a monetary value they were asking for. So at that point,
what were some of those facts, if you can, because there's been a lot of speculation, as you know, if you can set the record straight.
yeah, the ransom itself, one talked about an Apple Watch and one talked about a floodlight. We're not going to go into specifics. It's very important that we keep this investigation moving forward, and we don't want to put more facts out there that others then can use to try to profit from this.
CNN, next, Ed Lavandera.
Agent, I want to follow up with you real quick on that. There have been, as far as we know, I think 3 ransom notes so far, 1 arrest. Are they all different? Do you think there's different authors behind all of them, or?
So the one that went to the media is the one we are currently investigating and working on. The imposter that I talked about, where an arrest was made early this morning, that there will be more information. We believe there's no evidence to connect this to Nancy's case. It was someone that was trying to profit from it, a total imposter.
And Sheriff, you started off the press conference by saying you believe that Nancy is still out there. Do you have reason to believe that she's still out there alive, or are you fearful of the worst case scenario here, that she won't be found alive?
Well, I'm certainly fearful of that. I think we all are. But it is we operate from a position that until we know she's out there, she's alive, and we're going to continue thinking that way until we find her.
Fox Digital, Mike Reese.
Yeah, sir. Michael Reese from Fox Digital. Sheriff, you said you've identified no suspects. Have you ruled out anyone she was with on Saturday night?
You know, we've talked to so many. I'm sure that my investigators have feelings about this one's clear or this one isn't. But no, I wouldn't say anybody's ruled out yet, because what if I rule you out and then later I learn something else? No.
So
it's a great answer. Great answer.
You don't know where the reporting of a forced entry came from. Do we know how whoever did this got into her house?
That I would not discuss with you anyway.
Okay.
Fox News, Paul Morrow.
Question
These people are idiots.
if I may, Agent Edwards, will the Bureau be submitting the DNA for investigative genealogical investigation relative to maybe getting a relative, somebody if you want?
I would say the DNA aspect of this case is being handled by the Pima County Sheriff's Department right now. However, should we get to that point, yes, that would be an option for the FBI to assist.
A quick follow-up. Does the ransom note that you're working establish any communication protocols in it?
No, it does not. And that is what I think is important, that if someone has Nancy and is demanding the ransom, that there is communication with the family. We talked about has been no proof of life, and there was no other demands within that letter. So they're still waiting for communication.
ABC affiliate, Ashley Holden.
Right here, Ashley Holden. When you say the doorbell camera was disconnected, do you believe that camera was taken?
We do not have it in our possession. We've not located it.
Great question.
I know that we've been hearing a lot about ransom notes. We were also hearing in that video that was put out by the Guthrie siblings, and I don't know if this is a question for the FBI or yourself, but the challenges of seeing an image and knowing that it's real. Could one of you address that? Has the family received correspondence, any images, videos?
So we're not going to go into facts regarding this part of the investigation. I think part of that message was with AI these days, you can make videos that appear to be very real. So we can't just take a video and trust that that is a proof of life these days because of the advancements in AI and trying to actually get a proof of life that we can verify. But we're not going to go into anything the family may or may not have received.
Okay, well, Dr. Patterson?
So in regards to a timeline on that ransom note, is that being an impact in your investigation? Are we nearing that timeline?
I'm sorry, one more time.
So in regards to the timeline in the ransom note, are we nearing that timeline? And is that playing a part in the investigation?
We're not going to go again into specifics of that part of the investigation with the ransom note, other than what we've put out there. We've been transparent. We're talking about we are working that ransom demand, but we don't want to go anything further than that could impact any opportunities. So thank you.
Is there any additional physical evidence at the crime scene other than the technology that you guys are using for this timeline? Is there anything else that's helping you guys other than really
Lock machines.
Well, I think I said on day one is that it's technology that's going to really help us solve this case. But no, I mean, you know, we did do a process of that scene for biological evidence. So we're still hopeful that maybe something will show up there as well.
Arizona Republic, Richard Relas?
Agent Yankee? Yes. We saw on the scene, I believe it was you, taking a tripod into the home of the sister. How involved was the FBI, if at all, in creating the video? Any advice for the family?
I would say we use our expertise and provide consultation and advice anytime a family would ask for our advice in a kidnapping. It's ultimately the family's decision of what they put out and any messages they put out. But we were, obviously, you're all documenting every move we make. We were there last night in talking with the family. But every decision is theirs.
Right, that was a tripod or a ring around your shirt. You said the blood was found on the porch and on the front stoop. Just wanted to verify that.
I say porch, front stoop. It's all in that same general area by the front door.
Front of the house.
Front door, yes.
What, given her medical condition and the fact that it was her blood, as you say, what would her medical condition do with her recovery if she indeed bled out or was bleeding when she left the house?
Well, again, I've got to be careful for HIPAA, but I would say this. We know she is in need of medication, daily medication. And we also know that this is day 4 or 5 and still we don't know that she's getting her medication. That could in itself prove fatal.
And for the,
No, that'll be that question. For Kagan News, we have Craig Smith or Athena.
I'll get that for you. I'll get it.
Craig?
Kagan, Athena.
Oh, okay.
Have you been in communication with anyone who you believe could be the kidnapper?
What?
You know, it goes back to what we talked about. Nobody's eliminated, but we just really don't have enough to say, this is our suspect, this is our guy. We know, or our gal. We just don't know that. And it's really kind of reckless to report that someone is a suspect when they could very well be a victim. It just, I bring to you, to the media, I plead with you to be careful of what it is we put out there, because we don't have anybody here listed as a suspect, and you could actually be doing some damage to the case, but you can do some damage to that individual too. This is social media is kind of an ugly world sometimes.
And how far out have you expanded your search?
You know, I would tell you this, look, nothing's off the table. If we get a lead that there's somebody, hey, you've got this over here or over here, we're going, and that will expand and expand and expand. I think the FBI with their billboards, they're now planning to put those up at every state around here, at all of our neighboring states. So we use you, the national media, the FBI with their national outreach to affect that for us. But as far as the actual investigation, naturally the scene is the primary, and we just keep spreading it out as we get more and more leads.
Report TV, Cody Thomas.
Sure. Actually, my question is for Agent Yonke. You know, we saw Savannah Guthrie and her sibling family put out a video last night on Instagram addressing, you know, the tragedy that this is, but also addressing the ransom letter saying they're ready to talk. My question is, did the FBI or any other agency help them craft that message to put out on social media?
Like I said to the previous question, we have an expertise when it comes to kidnappings. And when families want advice, consultation, expertise, we will provide that. But the ultimate decisions on what they say and how they put that out rests with the family itself.
And as far as suspects, I know we haven't identified one, but what type of suspect or suspects do we think we're dealing with?
Yeah.
At this time, like the sheriff has said, there is no primary suspect identified.
There's no
so
profile?
it could run the gamut. So
KPNX, Troy Hayden.
Are you actively investigating the son-in-law in this case? I know there were reports earlier this week and you refuted that. You said you haven't eliminated everybody. Have you eliminated him or come close to it, or are you actively looking at him?
We're actively looking at everybody we come across in this case. Everybody. We would be irresponsible if we didn't talk to everybody. The Uber driver, the gardener, the pool person, whoever. Everybody. It's so cliche, but everybody's still a suspect in our eyes. That's just how we look at things and think as cops. Does that mean we have a prime suspect? No, and the family's been very cooperative. They've done everything we've asked of them, and we want that relationship to continue. And sometimes people can be mean out there, and that can really harm us and harm our efforts.
Did you find blood anywhere else in the home besides the porch?
The only DNA evidence we've got back is on the porch. We prioritize things and we rush things, and those items we put out to a lab to rush it. And even then it's 2, 3, 4 days. The other items could take 10 days, 20 days, but we saw the importance of that blood. It came back to Nancy.
So it was only there, it wasn't anywhere else in the house?
I don't know that. We processed the house for biological evidence, and we've not gotten anything back.
Newsmax, Sarah Williamson.
Hi there. My question is just piggybacking off our colleagues here about how far this search has gone. When it comes to doorbell cameras, you say technology plays a critical role in this. Have you been actively door knocking the neighbors and businesses and collecting those doorbell cameras? And is there anything that has come up there? And how far is that?
I can't tell you whether things have come up or not, but we have door to door. I think we're still doing door to door, not just in that neighborhood, but other neighborhoods. But just as leads come in and take us somewhere, we're going to do those things.
Okay, and just to follow up as well in regards to the video that was released by Nancy Guthrie's children last night, just to clarify, that was not coordinated with any law enforcement beforehand, and that you hadn't seen that video before it was released.
That's not what they said.
The FBI is handling all things with the ransom.
I think the answer was yes, we were there. The media was there. We can help coordinate, provide that consultation, but that is the family's decision of what they film and what they put out.
Fox 10, Justin Liu.
Agent Yonke, this one's for you. Following up on that video that was released yesterday, it said, ultimately any further action is decided on by the family. Since then, have they expressed any more interest in more efforts to try and get in contact with who is behind the ransom letter? And do you have a crisis or any sort of hostage negotiator with your team for that type of situation if it moves forward?
So the two parts to that question I think it's pretty clear. The family wants to be contacted. They know time is of the essence. And if those that may have Nancy are watching this, the family is ready to talk get proof of life because there has been no contact after that ransomware note or ransom note went to the media. For your second question, yes, we have crisis negotiators. That is part of our team here locally, along with the personnel we brought in from Quantico, and they will be part of it. But we're not going to go beyond that of any specifics.
Sure. Now, taking down the crime scene perimeter after Monday's investigation and really opening access to that property to everyone else, was that something you would do differently looking back, knowing that, you know, federal authorities also conducted a search yesterday? Would you have kept that perimeter up, knowing that?
You know, Monday morning quarterback, I probably would have, but I'll say this. We processed the scene. We got what we thought was complete. My team did that. I have to have all the faith and trust in their abilities and their skills, and I think they went through that pretty well. But because another agency now steps in and wants to assist, we're just like with you, we're an open book. Absolutely. How can we help? One of the things people don't see, I heard your question about, you know, and we left and then others could walk up. You know, when we process a scene and we're done, we return that scene to in this case, the homeowners, the family. And we don't just go march back in there. We call the family again and get permissions to go back to the home. So yeah, there's, again, Monday morning quarterback, absolutely. I probably could have held off on that. We knew the FBI. We've worked with them before in a lot of cases, and we felt like they could be of help in this with particularly the forensic analysis we use in a number of things. But at the start of this thing, we weren't sure what we had. And as the day progressed, we realized that there could be more to this. And we started in that. Remember, it was a search and rescue mission the first few hours. And we transitioned that over to a criminal investigation. With that, brought in our partners from the FBI and others.
Have you heard from President Trump?
Claudia Ramos. Univision, Claudia
I was
Ramos.
actually gonna ask about that. We saw the message yesterday.
Are you next?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Univision. Following up on that, we saw the message from the president yesterday. Have you personally received any communication from him or
No, and I wouldn't expect that. He too is a busy man, right? And I would say this: we thank him for him. His entire law enforcement team was put out yesterday, and we know, you know, I know my local reporters here know we've always worked well with all of our partners in law enforcement. Maybe it's something unique to Southern Arizona, and the rest of the country doesn't see that, but this isn't new for us. We've done this. Gabby Giffords, I headed up that investigation many years ago, and we worked side by side. Could not have got things done if we weren't with the FBI on that.
And just the other question, this being a border state, have you guys had any communication with Mexican authorities?
I have not. I work closely with the Mexican consulate, as other consulates, being the sheriff, but no, I've not heard from them.
Arizona, Univision, Manris.
Hi, Sheriff. My question is, do you know, it's a two-part question, do you know what medication Nancy uses? And have you checked the local pharmacies or pharmacies around the state where they bought, per se, this medication to keep her alive, to keep her healthy, while we still look for her?
So we do know what medications, and we have contacted pharmacies. Probably need to go back to just make sure that they didn't. Maybe we contacted them early on. I know that night, Sunday night, Saturday night, Sunday morning. I know we were doing all the hospital checks, and that check was continuous every hour, going back out and physically in person. Deputies were going to each local area hospital and asking them to check their logs.
My second question here is, I know you're looking for her in Pima County. Are you looking for her across the state now? And if so, if there's a particular area that you're focusing on right now?
Well, we're looking for her everywhere, right? The FBI just made an arrest on a tip that we got that we thought there could be something here. It's statewide. The billboards are going to be out there across the country. We take leads from everywhere, and where those leads take us, we'll get there.
MS Now, Alex Talbot.
believe that Nancy Guthrie may be being held outside of the country. Is that something that you ruled out at this point?
We don't have any of that information. We haven't ruled anything out. Like the sheriff said, we will follow the facts wherever they take us, whether it is outside of the state of Arizona or over the border. We will follow the facts and go there. But we have no indication anything over the Mexican border.
And you mentioned on the ransom note there were details about the Apple Watch and the floodlight.
Yep.
The ransom notes that were sent out to TMZ, KGUN, and KOLD. Are they all the same ransom note? Do they contain the same details, each of those individual ransom notes?
The ones that I am tracking and aware of were the same that went to TMZ also.
News Nation, Brian Enton.
Agent Yankee, sorry.
Yes.
When did the first ransom note arrive? And the reason I ask is because the Apple Watch has been in the news and on social media, and you can see like floodlights on video. So was it before those things were out in the world?
I don't have the specific time frame as I sit here today of what time it came in, but that you are right. Anyone could see a floodlight hanging down, could have seen some of those things. The watch has been talked about, so that timing is tricky, but that's why we're taking it serious no matter what and following the leads on that. But I don't have the time frame that the first note came in as I sit here today.
How do you not have
My
that?
follow-up is for the sheriff. In the house, were there any signs that someone tried to clean up or maybe destroy evidence?
I can't talk about the crime scene, so I'll give you another shot, another question.
It's a crime.
My other question is, I heard the agents say that it was a joint investigation now. At the other press conference, the FBI said they were assisting. Is it joint now? Are both agencies in charge now?
Look, there's no ego here. We in this part of the country, we'll take anybody's help.
And
it's not about,
fucking
it's not
just
about
shat
who's in
himself.
charge. From day one, when we contacted the FBI, they were that gracious to say, whatever you need. And so that's really it. And they're great partners, just as my other local law enforcement brethren. I didn't even have to ask. That's what's really amazing. I haven't had to call anybody. They've called me. Sheriff, what do you need?
Arizona's family, Brianna Whitney.
Sheriff, I know you had the crime scene process. You said you went back out there. Your partners wanted to see it, but you guys were actively taking out evidence yesterday. Was there something you missed the first time, or did you get a piece of information that led you to believe you needed to go back out and take more than you had that first day?
I know that we get information that will come, and this is just any crime scene that we're looking at. We may go out to a crime scene and think we've got it all, go analyze the evidence, and something comes back and says, hey, did you check this? We're not going to just say, oops, and not go. Absolutely. In this instance, it really was the FBI just wanted to go, hey, can we take a look at it?
Are you worried about that being contaminated at all because there was people in that?
I'll let the courts worry about that. We will certainly be open to the courts of anything that's been removed from that house, and we follow the rules of laws. We get court orders and go back and reapply for another warrant if need be. All of those things we're very careful of.
Arizona Public Media, Lynn Boyd.
Ellen Boyd over here. In that news release yesterday, there was a report of a trespasser. Has the Guthrie family dealt with any incidents, threats, whether that's trespassing, social media threats, anything of that nature?
I am not aware of any of that. I know that we, as with any case, again, we would look at all of the background of calls to those families or their residents and see if there's anything there, or even in that neighborhood. Those things have been looked at. I don't know of anything that was reported in even the last 30 days or 60 days. Nobody's come to me and said, hey, next door you had a burglary.
Follow up for the neighborhood where Nancy's home is. Can you give any more details on that trespassing incident?
I don't have them.
Telemundo, Jesus Gonzalez.
It's for the FBI. I just have a question. Can we confirm if the FBI director is coming for the investigation?
Yes, Director Patel is being briefed several times a day on this investigation back in DC. He does have a trip scheduled to Tucson that was pre-scheduled before this, but he is receiving consistent and constant updates from our team here.
He's coming today?
He is not coming today.
And before you go to the next one, I know you may have had a follow-up question, but I think I overstepped you. So if you wanted to ask, I'll give you that opportunity.
Thank you, sir.
Absolutely.
Thank you. At what point do you deem the ransom note not credible if there is no communication that follows up since you received it? Like, what's that timeline where you say, no proof of life, there's no more, this isn't credible?
I think we start to look at what the deadlines were in the note. First, I think was 5 o'clock today. And then it had a second deadline after that. So we are continuing in a normal kidnapping case, there would be contact by now trying to discuss that. But those are the timeframes we are looking at as we move forward.
Are you able to say that second deadline that was given?
I don't have that with me right now. So thank you.
Sorry about that. Entertainment Tonight, Denny Directo.
Yes, my question actually is for Agent Youngkey. There was a report that said the ransom came from an email that the FBI was actually looking into that IP address. Any updates on that?
Nothing that I can release. Thank you.
And then also, there's also conflicting reports about who was the last person to actually see Nancy and drive her home. We know she took an Uber to Annie's house, but can you confirm whether it was Annie or her son-in-law Tommaso who took her home that night?
I think the timeline that the sheriff provided was a family member, but
Just family. We're going to go with family.
Record TV, Vandry Fiera.
Sir, we are for national, so we're not familiar with the area, so we think that it's a remote area. So my question is, why is it so hard to track a car or something suspicious that have passed through the area at that time? How difficult it is, because probably cameras around or something.
Yeah, you're talking about the challenges we face in some of being in a rural area like this. Those are face all the time. We'd love it to have all the cameras in what we would consider a more urban nature type area. But once you get out into the community, that's not the only part of Tucson that is that way. And we just find ways to overcome those challenges. We don't just disregard it. We still look at ways to find for example, ring cameras that might catch just a piece of something, goes catch those kinds of things. We don't give up. We still go out.
But not at least a car that came out
I
at that night.
I
Far
can't.
away, I mean, like miles from the house.
We have cameras all over, and those things are being reviewed.
Arizona Republic, Richard Relas.
I'm a different person.
Did he get two?
It's the second one.
Was that you?
Sorry.
No.
We all right. All right. Thank you guys for keeping us honest. No, you already asked your question, so we're gonna go to the New York Times with Reese. And I apologize for getting your name wrong here, Reese. Tebow?
No, you're close.
Tebow.
Hi, Sheriff.
Hi.
The 212, the camera that detected movement at 212, was that a different camera than the one that was disconnected at 147? And where was it pointed?
We don't know that. We don't know which camera that was. When we did the software, it just told us that the person was detected. But I'm unaware of which camera that was.
So there were multiple cameras and you're not sure?
Sure. There were multiple cameras at the home.
Okay. And is there a possibility that this is not a ransom situation? And if so, what else could it be?
Your guess is as good as mine. I would say absolutely there's a possibility that this is nothing to do with the kidnapping. But we cover all angles. We're not going to dismiss something until we actually know for a fact that it's one way or the other.
People Magazine, we have Danielle Walker.
So I wanted a little more clarity to follow up on his. Is there anything more you can say? Was this actually targeted or not? Do you have any?
That's why we have the FBI to look at those areas where there may have been a target. Maybe it is a kidnapping. But no, we don't have anything to rule that out or to say it is.
And as far as the ransom notes, there was a part in there about Bitcoin. Are you looking into that now, investigating?
Yes, that's part of the investigation.
Can you go and elaborate any further if you found anything or if there's any ties or any suspects tied to that Bitcoin?
There is not at this time.
Associated Press, Joel Golden Dara.
Hi, Sheriff. Just to follow up to a
You're
prior-
Joe?
I'm sorry.
You're Joe?
Golden Dara.
Oh, I thought you said
Hey,
Joe.
Joe.
Okay.
Just to follow up to a prior question, you had said early in the investigation that authorities don't believe Nancy Guthrie was targeted. Why don't authorities think that Nancy Guthrie was targeted?
Who said that?
You had said that early in the investigation.
What?
Okay, if I said I missed, I absolutely misspoke. I've never thought she was or wasn't targeted. We've always believed that that is certainly a possibility. I mean, you'd be silly not to think that. Somebody disappears in the middle of the night out of their home. You can understand where I'm coming from. But no, if I said that, obviously I misspoke or maybe somebody misheard me, but I've never believed that she was or was not a target.
Is there anything more specific you can say about what you believe at this time?
Motive's always going to be a question, and we'll know more as we go what that motive is. But right now, my guesswork is as good as yours.
And then we also have, the final one will be from, KBOA here, Tucson, Monica Garcia.
Okay, so let's talk about that 5 p.m. Did you say 5 p.m. deadline today? Is that the deadline? Maybe that's for the FBI.
Yes.
Can you just give us some sound on that? Because that's a big deal. That's within hours about that 5 p.m. deadline per the ransom note.
He's grabbing his paper. There we go. Just read the fucker.
What's supposed to happen after that?
So the ransom note that was distributed to the media did make a demand for 5 p.m. today. And if a transfer wasn't made, then I think a second demand was for next Monday. We're not going to go beyond that. What the media received.
Did it indicate what would happen if they didn't meet that ransom? Did they-
Sending her
We're
in
not going to go into
pieces.
those specifics. Thank you.
Oh my God.
Eastern, I'm sorry, I know it's not.
A second demand letter is like, well, she's going to die. And then we're going to send you her body in pieces to you. We're going to start mailing it to you.
Arizona? It's 5 p.m.
I don't.
Who the fuck has the second demand?
It's 5 p.m.
And then, sorry about that, Inside Edition, Jim Murray.
Special Agent Yoki, given the fact that the FBI participated in the creation of this family video, does that suggest your belief that the author or authors of that ransom note, in fact, have Nancy Guthrie?
Again, we're taking the ransom note serious, and we are following that part of the investigation.
And does the fact that there is a ransom note suggest to you that Nancy Guthrie was taken specifically because she's Savannah's mom?
There's nothing to indicate that.
Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. The sheriff does have just one more note about what happens next year, or what doesn't happen next.
Well, it's what happens for us is we're going to continue working. For you though, I hope this worked out well for you. But right now, I have no plans to schedule any further press conferences unless we have some real evidence or something to bring up to you. It's pretty pointless to just keep hounding the same things over and over. And as Special Agent in Charge Yankee said, please give us some space, and that's not just physical space. Give us some space, give my team some time, because these things do take time and they are difficult. And everybody out there is really working hard. And mistakes are going to be made. And if I made them, mea culpa, it won't be the first mistake I've ever made. But more important than me is we want Nancy back. That's the key. Okay. So thank you very much. And thank you for your concern in this.
Thank you.
Okay. Well,
If you're looking for the,
I will tell you this straight up. This is just logic. Okay. They reached out and they haven't heard anything back. Okay. So if you want your first demand, hey, we're trying to meet your 5 o'clock. Hey, you know what I mean? How can there be a second demand on Monday? You know, that tells me that it's either in two installments. Okay. You have the first demand. You got to pay this amount of money on this day. Okay. And then the next demand is on Monday. And so you're dealing with one letter, two demands. And I would love to know if it said no cops, no authorities. And I'm guessing not, because clearly it went out to the media. But I would definitely not discard what I was telling you guys about the, well, if you can't make that deadline, then you might just want to pay so that we don't mail your mom in body pieces to you. Anyways, wow. But 5:00, I think that there was just so much to say. You guys, this was an unbelievable press conference. Do you know how much information was just provided to us? Astronomical amount of information that just came out. That was the most transparent press conference that I've been a part of in a long, long time. And anybody that's saying otherwise is absolutely, every single person in that building got to ask a question and a follow-up. And that followed after a timeline that just was given to us. A timeline of, okay, 5:32 p.m., local family home. They're all visiting at 5:32 p.m. She gets picked up in an Uber. Okay. The grandmother, Nancy, 5:32 p.m. She gets picked up in an Uber. How they have that precision? Dude, the Uber, whenever you ordered it, whenever it was delivered, it's all right there. Then she was dropped. So they were, visiting, having dinner. So here, remember I said, did they go out to a restaurant? No. All right. They did not go out to a restaurant. This was all playing family, Saturday night, board game night. Like, I love that stuff. Like, that's just like that's what I'm picturing, like dinner, board game night. And then she gets home at 9:48. She's dropped off at her home. How do they know that? Because the garage door, it opens, and then at 9:50 the garage door closes. So so 2 minutes. So 9:48, 9:50. Then at 1:47 a.m. the doorbell cam disconnects. Okay. They should have asked the question if they did something to take out the power. I was, not that would matter, but just to see their reaction, I would have asked about how can you talk about that disconnection? Nobody asked that though, but at 1:47, the doorbell disconnects. Then at 2:12 a.m. So 30 minutes almost would go by. 1:47, 2:12. No, they have no subscription with their service. So there was an alert on one of the cams that movement was detected. Okay. Hang on. Garage after taking an Uber. Yeah. That's how I get in my house every single day. I punch in my garage code. Garage door opens. I walk in. I get to my stairs to my house, my door. I open it. I hit the garage door button. Doo-doo. Now, do I think 2 minutes is a long time to get from punching in the code and it goes up and then walking? If someone's helping me do all of this, I don't know. I think she needs help and stuff like that. I don't know if somebody, helped her get in. Okay. Very, very, very simple. Next. Now, 2:12, this detection on the camera, they detected movement. You couldn't see anything though on the camera because it had been disconnected, but it did talk about there is just alert on the camera that movement was detected at 2:12 a.m. So then at 2:28 a.m., the pacemaker, it disconnects from the phone. And then at 11:56 a.m., they check on Nancy. And so the only thing that if somebody would have been there, like someone like me, would have been like, can we go over this whole checks on Nancy? She was supposed to go to church. They didn't check on her until 11:56 a.m. How was she supposed to get to church? Can we kind of go over that? Did she usually Uber to church? I know that people said like she didn't show up to church, so because at 11:56 a.m. they check on Nancy. Now, there's also no alerts. Like, did they go in the home or did they check on Nancy, walk up to the door and they saw, oh my God, there's blood on the ground? Because at 12:03 is when the 911 call came in. Okay. So, but 11:56 a.m. there, that time frame to me to be able to pinpoint 11:56 a.m. It's interesting. I think that tells me that maybe they used the password to the garage to get in, and it, the garage door went up. But that 11:56, you're using some technology to detect that it would be at 11:56 that they're saying they're checking on Nancy, and then 12:03 a.m. or I'm sorry p.m. is the 911 call, which I probably they're going to release it unless they can't because it has evidence on it, like it's talking about the house. Because this would just be like. But the 911 call, like, I'm surprised that hasn't come out yet, which is how you'd be talking and explaining that, okay, my mother didn't come to church, then I come here, and because I'm going to tell you this right now, if they walked in the garage and didn't go to the front door yet, they wouldn't know about the blood. Okay? So if I show up at the house to go, and everyone just used to just going up to the garage and entering the code, and then we walk in that way, that's, there's my mom's car, and I'm like, oh my God, like I'm starting to get like, and then I walk in the garage and she's not in there, right? She's not in there. And I'm like, what the hell? When did they ever, did they even see the blood outside? So there is a way that could have been missed. Now, what else we learned from this press conference is that I love this. I mean, I absolutely adore this sheriff. If he is anything but one of the good guys, he literally has worked me over because I can see through the bullshit, man. This guy has so much patience. He's somebody that you would want to also be your grandpa. Like my grandpa's the sheriff, man. Like, and he's like a good ass just dude. I'm telling you, I can't get any vibes of like this is a corrupt motherfucker at all. And he's just real. And so I think that just, you gotta, I mean, I love it. I'm so happy for the family that they have someone like him that's on this case. Someone I feel like you could totally trust, so again, send me emails and prove to me that this guy is a piece of shit, because I'm telling you right now, he is anything but that. And I can tell you what, if he's gonna, it's his choosing to be transparent, and he's then making the FBI be transparent. Okay, it's his investigation, it's his case, which I think is awesome. I'm telling you, I've never seen so much information, like good information, not fluff. Anyways, back to this. They said that about 10 minutes after the 911 call, the patrol arrived. So 10 minutes later. From not the 911 call, but the ransom note, they told us that there was a couple facts and a deadline, and the two facts that he gave out was that she was wearing an Apple Watch, and probably something along the lines of that it disconnected with the heart, the pacer, all that crap, because that would be a fact that only that person would know. Let's be honest. So it's going to be more than, but they just put out. It was about the Apple Watch and it was about the floodlight. Okay. And then Brian Etten comes up and says, well, when did the, ransom letter come in? Because everybody could see, like, okay, everybody saw that she's wearing an Apple Watch in her hand with her daughter in a picture, and they could see like a floodlight or whatever. So when did the ransom, email come in? And he didn't have that specific timestamp, but I'm going to tell you this. I don't believe that they just said in this ransom letter, your mom's wearing an Apple Watch. Okay. And we just took out your floodlight. Okay. I believe that the Apple Watch would go more into detail about the fact that it was disconnected. Okay. You guys, mistakes are fine to be made. I expect mistakes to be made in investigations. it's owning them, and it's not then trying to cover up a mistake. If you make a mistake, you just make a mistake. It's human, and you just announce it, and it is what it is. And I love that this guy, if I made a mistake in that, and we can all be Monday, armchair quarterbacks, and like nobody is going to be perfect in their job ever. We are all human. Okay. I cannot say enough about this man. Let's see. It was protocol to go back in and processing the scene when they wanted to head and go back in where the garage was. They were saying that there was 3 ransom notes, but one of them was the imposter, and they got arrested. Hell yeah, that's what we were screaming over here on this channel. I said anybody that does any of this should be prosecuted to the full extent of the law. You should be obstruction of justice. I mean, you name it. And guess what just happened today? Boom. Taken down. Love it. So 2 basically outlets got that letter. Again, the Uber took her home. I mean, came and took her to the house, but did not take her home. So she takes an Uber there, but they drive her home. Somebody asked about DNA and IgG. I'm not even going to talk about that. Forced entry. They will not say if it is or it is not. That's part of the investigation. And yes, I would not be giving that out either. The Ring cameras, or the cameras that are outside, it was asked, were those cameras taken? Yes, this is how he answered it, is we do not have them. They were taken. We don't have them. So either they weren't there, they've never been there, but we do not have those cameras that you would see mounted outside. We don't have them. The FBI division that's here is the Phoenix division, by the way. And anybody out there that's saying, put out $1 million reward and all this crazy crap, come on, you can cough it up, or 500,000 or whatever. Listen, that is the last thing that you ever want to do. I'm going to tell you why. You do not need crazy motherfuckers flooding your tip line. Okay? $50,000. You do not need to offer more. You do not need idiots. And I 1000% stand by that. You need people that truly know something, and they know that they're going to be saying something and basically telling on somebody, right? They asked about the Bitcoin address. They're looking into that. That's all they would say about that. The FBI is doing the data points, and so they're using CAST. And I said, well, fucking A, they suck. So according to this press conference, they still have time. That they believe that the grandma, Nancy here, is still alive. Let's say that she was unharmed in terms of like even under her condition, that she would still be okay right now. Now, at the sister's house is where they did the video last night. The presence that we saw of the FBI, they were bringing in a tripod, and that tripod was used to hold up the camera that was used for that 4-minute video. The FBI says that they did not tell them what to say, but that they advise them if they want help or whatever. We're going to advise. That's what we do. We consult all those things. But it's ultimately the family's decision on how they want to go about anything. Since they did that, they have not been in any type of communication with the person that sent the ransom letter. So there's been no communication between the family and that person, even after the video. There's been no announcement of any suspect or person of interest, and the BAU has not put out a profile, at least to the public. Nobody asked. Well, they got nothing back about blood being inside the house, and somebody should have done a follow-up with that and said, well, but did you process? I mean, if you process it the first time, that you reprocess the scene, and as far as like if there was a cleanup or whatever, you're gonna have to go back in there and use some chemicals. They've talked to everybody. So they want to bring up the brother-in-law. You guys, everybody is still suspect because we don't have but there's nobody that we are zoning in on because hey, everybody's been cooperating. So yes, we talked to the brother-in-law, we talked to the gardener, we talked to the everybody's been very helpful. Nothing is off the table. Medication. So it's been day 4 or 5 here without it. They had multiple cameras in the home. And I see nothing but transparency here with this timeline. I think Ashley Banfield is an idiot for what she said. The crime scene. Obviously, they're not allowed to talk about the crime scene. The residents in the area. Nothing has been reported in the past 30 days for like wild shit. Somebody wanted to ask about Cash Patel. Idiots. Trespassing. Again, we're going to go through our little FOIA to see what we can find, but they won't talk about the IP address that sent the demand, the ransom letter. There's a deadline today at 5, and then there's another one tomorrow, or not tomorrow, but on Monday. So Wednesday or Thursday, and then Monday. Excuse me, on the same ransom letter. I think that's everything. So I think we got everything there, though. Hey, Tom, you got I want to suck my titty syndrome. Take that, motherfucker. Peace, Tom. Peace. Somebody should have asked about towing of the car, but again, that's evidence. You could have asked if they found any trackers or anything like that on people's cars. I mean, towing her car, it is what it is. So looking at a timeline now, here, let's go ahead and laugh a little bit. You want to laugh a little bit? Let's see how mainstream media is going to spin this. We all heard it with our own ears. Okay. Now let's see what somebody would take from this press conference and try to spin. What do we got here? They're just running a camera and they don't know what they're doing. Okay, let's see what you guys say. You need to go there just to tell them to shut up. Who's that? I don't tell people to shut up. They can show their asses all they want, you know? Keep it up. Keep showing.
Buddy, in our criminal investigations.
I think this is a great press conference. I got nothing but love here. Walnut Bear is alerted to the man unless it's not in Idaho. Jesus, what? I am all your work. Oh, yay. Thank you. I bet you like that comment about Tom. Thank you. Is it T Grunky? Is that it? 5057. I appreciate all your work and the updates you provide. Thank you. Well, thank you. And want to give a shout out to Rebecca sent me a PayPal, and then so did Dina. And you guys are awesome. It was for like FOIAs and upcoming, projects to put together for cases. Thank you guys so much for that. We've already sent in a couple FOIAs. We're trying to go outside the box here. Somebody looks like they put a lot of time into this, and I think they gave us a lot of information to go off of. Nobody asked about Flock. I was really kind of disappointed in that. I had been asking about Flock. Makes me wonder what type of mass surveillance system they're trying to initiate. Her husband has an interesting work history and ties to powerful people. Yep. I think we're all aware of obviously there's political ties here. Okay. I believe that she was targeted, not, they knew who they were taking. No doubt about it in my mind. That's not even a question. It's because the ransom letter should just put it over the edge. But this is whose mother it is, Tons of celebs own prop in there, like Park City, Utah, Hugh Hefner's Martini Mansion. I've been to Hugh Hefner's place over in LA way back in the day. Um, that's so funny. The juror, thank you so much. Layla, what's up, girl? Jody, thank you for covering this. Thank you for being here. I'm going backwards. Oh, Jessica for the. Am I missing this? Okay, I just got you. I just didn't say Jessica. Okay, thank you so much, Jessica. Nancy and Savannah are connected to Peace 2 of the world's largest Christian ministries. We're looking into all of their backgrounds. Yeah. I don't think this has anything to do with, though, the files being released for the I don't think it has anything to do with the timing of that. This, to me, is more about the Olympics, if you're going to tie anything into it. I think it's super sad that here this happens right before she's going to go to the Olympics to be the host. Also, she just had that surgery. I don't know. Good vibes. X. I don't do politics, nothing personal. Yeah, me neither. And it doesn't mean I don't pay attention either. I'm just like, the fuck out of here. I judge you by the music you listen to. What type of music do you listen to? If you say everything, I'm like, yes, motherfucker. If you say only a couple things, I say, what's wrong with you? Like, let's just jam out to John Cougar Mellencamp right now. Like, I just want to listen to John Cougar Mellencamp on reruns, repeats. Yeah. I just love all types of music. When I find out that people don't like all types of music, I'm like there's a little something good in everything. Clip, chip. Gifted 5. Yes, 5 membership. Give it out to everybody that's been super chatting. Little pink houses for you and me. I just like Cherry Bomb. I mean, come on. Our hearts were really pumping. Say, yeah. You know who else loves music the way that I love music? Where's my girl in here? Where's Carson's mom? Carson's mom. No GPS and a pacemaker, y'all, I promise. Yeah, I don't think there is either. I've been doing mass research on that. I'm like, I can't find anything like that. I agree with you. Where is Sherry D? Sherry D, what's the last song you listened to? You know, I got my mind set on you. I got my little ditty. See? Just love it all. Tell you what, man, music just brings you together. Let's do some shots. Let's laugh a little bit. I'm telling you, mainstream media is going to have a field day with this transparent press conference is literally going to be questioned as to he wasn't being honest with us. I'm like, oh my God, this guy has given more information. So I love him. I love the sheriff. I think he's a rock star, and we're going to call him tomorrow. And we're going to say thank you so much for being so transparent. And we would like to buy all of the staff. You know, can we just get a shipment of donuts down there? Maybe some Panera. Yeah. So anybody that gives this sheriff a hard time, side-eye him. Maybe we'll save, maybe I'll come back here and do a live. I'm telling you, I want to do a live right around the deadline of the 5 o'clock. So maybe that's what I'm going to do. We're going to come back and do a live for the 5 p.m. deadline, which is, I think it's 7 o'clock my time. So I'll set the live for yeah. Hearts. Ashley Banfield should get out there. You know, now that she's independent and has her own thing, she should get out there. I would love to see her, beat reporter here. She's like, nah, I just send out my peeps, make some phone calls. I like traveling. I like traveling to the places I go to. I like meeting new people. I like meeting people in person and be like, Hey, my name's Lana. Oh, I've heard so much shit about you, Lana, that you are a raging lunatic. Yeah, I'm like, yeah, you really want to check that out? Let's go out of the bar. Let's go get some ragers in us. Let's go. Let's go beer for beer. I'm like, what? Lana, you're just so crazy. Yeah. Thank you, Custody Queens. Oh, this is Kristen, Custody Queen Kristen. Great show, as always. Love the analysis and commentary. We just got to have some fun with it. Yep, I think the sheriff is doing an incredible job. You guys, this is so high profile. And he is literally handling these people with a side of everything, you know, all while being so understanding and respectful to the family. I just can't say enough about this dude. Now, you know who I think is not on the same level as this man is the Decatur County Sheriff's Department in Tennessee. Yeah, I just became their probably worst enemy. I'm about to like just unleash all of this corruption that's been going on there for years. So I need to come to Arizona. Are you guys a lot of people in Arizona? You guys live by, or are you guys Tucson? You know, it gives me a reason to just wind up at Cyray's door. Hey, Cy. Hey, Carrie. Do you guys want to do an interview? I'm in Arizona. Hey. Yeah, I definitely didn't say, I didn't hear him say trust us either. Great point there. All right, you guys rock. I'll be back for the deadline. So hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. It's all free. You'll never have to pay money to be heard here. I only ask that you give your opinions and don't attack other people. It diminishes your own opinion then, just state your opinion without, then we can just laugh together. Just watch the spinners. All right, guys, see you later. Peace. Rock out, what you cack out, jam out, what you clam out.